be exactly what you want to be without all of the fear around you. We have to stand up together.
Hello again. Welcome to another episode of the Chairman Project podcast with Jason Sisneros, your humble host, where we talk about all things business. And this week is going to be kind of fun. We've been on the road. My wife and I have been on the road. We've been in Mexico. We've been all over Florida. We're headed up to New York, New Jersey this coming week. And if you're going to be in the Chicago area, I'm going to be keynoting an event at the Opera House there on Thursday evening. You can go to all of our socials to find out that. Go to jasonsisneros.com and then click on the events. You'll be able to get the details about how to join us in Chicago. Can't wait to see our Chi-Town crew up there and have a lot of fun. Tony, if you can get into town, that would be awesome, because that is the famous location of one of our favorite karaoke spots in the entire United States. So it'd be great to have the old crew back together up there. But every time we go to Chicago, it's an adventure. So this week I want to welcome. We're getting a lot of new folks that are following the show, and I just want to welcome you to the family, to the community here, the Built to Exit community. Those of you that are new to the show, one of the great things that you can do is go to Built, BUILT, TO, exit. I'm having a hard time with my own website, built2exit.biz. built2exit.biz, and put in your email address. Lots of stuff coming here over the next couple of weeks on that particular site. But if you go there and you put your email address in, these shows, I put a lot of effort and research and work into putting together these shows week to week. And I put together show notes every week. My team takes the show notes that I put together. They throw it into an amazing compilation. We also add in there, we do this live on X every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's kind of like a radio show. You can come in and I do my content, and then we have a discussion with everybody after. But the video portion of it, the content portion of it, is being shot and filmed on video, and it gets edited by my amazing team. And it also is thrown into that newsletter from the show notes from this week to week. So make sure, bare minimum, that you go to built2exit.biz, put in your email address, and you'll get the show notes and the edited version of this podcast every single week. So that's for you people that are new. And just to kind of give you an idea, a little bit of a flavor for the community that you're joining, it's been interesting. We've been together for years in different formats and whatnot. But this is a group of business owners, people that are looking to start a business, maybe people that are looking for an advantage in their position, in their job. But a lot of business owners, mainly people that have started a company. They either have 0 employees up to 499. That's our SME. We call it small. Not just us, but it's designated worldwide as an SME. That's a small to mid-size enterprise. And that simply means from 0 employees to 499. This is where we all find each other, right? And today I'm going to be talking about community and the power of communities, focusing in on how powerful that can be for you and your business. But those of you that are new, we've identified, and I know as we've gathered together over the years, I travel around speaking. I've been on multiple podcasts. We have this amazing crew that shows up every single Saturday live for what we do. And one of the things that I've started to realize about our community is that we know that owning a business at all is a blatant act of rebellion. Rebellion against what? It's a rebellion against being controlled in one specific area in particular, which is your economics, right? If you have your own business, you now control your own destiny. You control your own outcome. You're really facing that person in the mirror every single day to overcome weaknesses, to build on your strengths, to figure out how to be a better leader, to figure out how to gather together a team of people that believe in what you're doing. you fall in love with the outcome of a group of people that you can serve and that you can do one of three things. We always talk about that, of why you own a business. It gets confusing. There's lots of things that come at you. But if you can keep it narrowed in on falling in love with the outcome of your target audience in one of three areas, you're either a business exists to save people money, to make them money, or to measurably improve the quality of their life. That's why a business exists. That's why we're all here. We've all figured out, I don't want to work for a big company. I don't want to work for another company. I don't want to be dependent on a government for my money or for my food. There is this great opportunity called business ownership for us to be able to control our own destiny. And that's who comes here. That's who listens to these shows. This is the people that are sharing this out. And you, if this is one of your first times, this is either going to be you or this won't be your community, right? But I do want to say welcome to all the newcomers. I know that is due to my amazing team being able to get this content out across multiple platforms. We're now on Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, all of the places that we go. But its core is made up of the community that we've built over the years. Of people that want to improve their businesses. Now, the core outcome, what we speak about, the topics and the strategies and the tools that we talk about is specifically around one idea. And that's sort of the branding that's going to be, you're going to see rolling out. The name of this podcast, the name of the digital course that we have put together, our community as a whole, the journey that you can go on with us. All of that is shifting because it narrowed into a concept called built to exit. That you are here and listening to my voice and part of this community because you want to build your entity, your machine, the business to be able to exit. Now, there's obviously a few ways to exit. We say number one, the first way to exit is for you to go from chaos or uncertainty to being able to learn some techniques and strategies to be able to get into calm and to be able to build your business to a larger entity. But you can't do that while you're running a month-to-month organization, while you're running to say, okay, well, it's the first of the month. Now I got to sell enough to be able to survive one more month. You start to extend that, right? You start to learn strategies and tools to be able to extend that just a little bit. We know that on average, of the 33 million small businesses that are out there, 27 million of them have no employees, and their average revenue is sub 100,000. And so rather than, these gurus that are out there going, well, you've got 27 million of you have a business and you got no employees and you're going to go to $10 million next year. It's a lie. It's a bunch of bullshit, right? So what we want you to do is to advance. Like I can only teach from my perspective, right? I advanced from zero, started my own business, ended up, crashing 3 of them and being $2 million in debt. I partied the day that I got back to zero. I partied. It was a huge celebration for me when I got back to being worth absolutely nothing, because that was progress for me. But, as we build this out, this built to exit concept, it's a progression, and it's a progression of systems and processes and sequencing that you learn to go from $100,000 to $300,000. That should be your first goal. That should be your first number. It shouldn't be, I'm going to go to $10 million, because you get disappointed more and more and more when you're not hitting these objectives by the fake gurus that are out there that are putting fake cars and rented cars and bullshit stuff that's on their Instagram. Stop trying to keep up with them. Right? Advance yourself. These machines called businesses can help you advance in your own life for your own objectives along a very predictable sequence of events. Okay. So if you're doing $100,000 or less, your next goal should be $300,000, because there's going to be some things that you learn. You're going to become a different person. You're going to face down that person in the mirror. You're going to change some behaviors that are worthy of $300,000 a year. Your next goal from $300,000 to $750,000, right? That's 750,000. And then you start to ramp it up. It's a predictable sequence of events. And that's what we talk about here. We don't talk about hyperbole. We talk about the real world, people that are running real businesses, that have real products, that have real families, that have kids, and they have colleges to pay for, and they have a roof to put over their head, and money and people, that they have to hire, all of the real shit that you have to deal with when you are an actual business owner. That is this community. And it's built to exit. We always say that. I get this conversation quite a bit when people are like, well, Jason, I'm just starting my company. I am one of those 100,000, sub 100,000 businesses. And I really do want to get to 300,000, but the very concept, the conversation, the idea of exiting my business isn't even in my universe. That's why I'm here, right? That's why this community exists, because you've got to know what you're building towards. You've got to know that you're building this machine to exit it, not to be in it forever, not to struggle in the loop that you find yourself in day to day, not to continue to get the same results that you got yesterday. It's to build to exit. And again, there's several exits along the way, exiting that chaos, starting to expand from 1 month and, of certainty to 3 months, to 6 months, to a year, to then hiring your first employee, to then hiring your second employee, to having divisions, on and on and on. There's a predictable path for you to follow. But if you don't start that game, with the idea and the understanding and the knowledge that you are doing it to exit, right? Ultimately, you're going to harvest your wealth because you've built something of value with assets, right? With systems, with processes that is not in need of you being there. If you don't know that that's where you're building, you'll get caught up in this endless loop and become part of the 95% of the companies that never survive beyond 10 years, and maybe even 50%, the 50% that start a business today and they're out of business before the end of the year, right? Those are tragic numbers. And that is why the show exists, because I build 5% companies, the ones that live beyond that 10-year period of time, that are able to be sold, that do create systems and processes that allow the business owner to be able to go on to start another business while the other one is existing, to be able to start a charity while the other business is cranking out cash flow, to be able to sail the 7 seas while that business is cranking out cash flow, to be able to be sold. There's less than 7% of the companies that are ever built that ever get put on the market ever sell. That's what I do. So what I'm one of the best in the world at being able to do is to help it for myself. I did it for myself, and now we do it for other people to build 5%ers. Now, if you want to be a 5%er, there's a path to follow, right? There's strategies, there's ways to think, right? There's ideas, there's things that Jason Sisneros did not create, but I have captured and systemized for myself to be able to free myself and my family. And now you can do it for yourself as well. So that's what we talk about. That's the outcome. It is building to exit. And if you don't know that that's the outcome, you will get caught up in the 95% behavior that will assure that you're going to eventually go out of business at best and have created a bunch of debt on your way out, because that's what typically happens. That's what happened to me. I figured out some way, somehow, I figured out how to be in business for like 5 years and to be $2 million in debt and then go out of business. Somehow I figured that out. And I don't think that I'm unique in the world, but I can tell you that I could have laid in bed for those 5 years and watched television. There wasn't Netflix at the time, but I could have laid in bed for 5 years and had snacks and bonbons and any kind of thing, and been worth $2 million more for just laying there. So the idea is that I wish I would have known back then that I should be building to exit, that there's systems and processes, that there is technology, that there is people, that there are systems and processes, and that there are measurement tools to be able to succeed no matter who you are, no matter what your background, no matter what your skin color, no matter what your gender, no matter what your sexual preference, no matter what religion, no matter what. This level playing field is called small business. So what we're going to talk about today as a topic of conversation And the label, right? The title of the show that I came up was Which Secret Society for You? Hi, my name is Jason Sisneros, founder and chairman of Anton J Global, a world-class business consulting company that has helped hundreds of clients and thousands of growth course students fix, scale, and successfully master their businesses. To put it simply, my team and I help people turn their businesses into machines that create cash. To better support startups and other mid-sized companies, my team and I developed a phenomenal and comprehensive digital growth course where I poured decades of business ownership and know-how into 20 hours of content. This course is not easy. It's not an easy pill, but demands real work from you to implement the blueprints that I've developed. We know that reaching financial freedom is never easy, but totally worth it. Go to growthcourse.com right now to learn more about the course and get started on your business journey today. Because I got into this idea as I was thinking throughout the week and as we've traveled around, because every single time I travel around, I'm on somebody else's podcast or I'm on somebody else's stage. What I pay attention to, what my wife and I pay attention to, is the communities that we find ourselves in, right? The grouping of people. Why do people choose to be around each other? And so I started, digging in, and I've always been fascinated with this idea of secret societies. And three of them that everybody knows about. I don't know. They're secret, I guess, because the people, you don't know who belongs to them. But they're not secret as in we already know the names of them, right? You've got Freemasons, you've got the Illuminati, and you've got Skull and Bones. Those are three probably of the most well-known secret societies on the face of the planet. And as you dig into them, there's some things like, why did they start? And the Freemasons, will start there. The Freemasons originated from local fraternities of stonemasons in the late medieval period, which regulated the qualifications of stonemasons and their interactions with authorities and clients. Over time, the society evolved to include members from various professions, not just stonemasonry. Freemasonry was formally organized in 1717, and when 4 London lodges merged to form the first Grand Lodge. Society was created to promote moral and metaphysical ideals, foster camaraderie, and uphold the Enlightenment principles of liberty, equality, and fraternity. Okay, that's the Freemasons. So you think about that, right? As we've built this built to exit community, as we've built our own society, as we're building our own society, there was a reason why they came together. There was something that wasn't present for a group of like-minded people who were all doing sort of the same thing, but they hadn't formed a group to be powerful together, right? And so the Freemasons were born. The Illuminati was founded on May 1st, 1776. Weird year. Weird things happened in 1776 by Adam Weishaupt, professor of law at the University of Ingolstadt. Weishaupt started the society to promote Enlightenment ideas and advocate for secularism and rational thought, challenging the iron grip of the Catholic Church and conservative Bavarian government on society. The Illuminati sought to infiltrate other influential groups like the Freemasons to spread their ideas and gain political influence, aiming to create a state of liberty and moral equality. Okay, that's why the Illuminati was started. Let's jump over to Skull and Bones. Established in 1832 at Yale University by William Huntington Russell and Alphonso Taft, Skull and Bones was founded as a new chapter of a secret society that originated in Germany. The society was created as a haven for the elite students of Yale to gather and discuss and debate topics without the interference of the outside world. Over time, Skull and Bones gained a reputation for being a network that could help propel its members to positions of power and maintaining strong bonds that would influence American political and economic life. Now, all three of those secret societies, you can do your own research and find out who's part of them and what they've done. And, this is not a moral discussion for me to say they're good people, they're bad people, they've done good things, they've done bad things. It's for us to have the conversation around maybe we need to have our own secret society. And by we, I mean business owners, right? Because I look back, and those of you that are not new to the show, you hear me talk about this quite often, which is back in 2020, we found ourselves as a group, right? This 33 million group called business owners, SMEs, that do 60% of the GDP, 70% of the wealthiest people in the country. 27 million of us that have 0 employees, but are paying our bills and figuring out how to survive. You've got that group of people that woke up one day and got called non-essential. I don't see in what universe 60% of the GDP is non-essential. I don't understand it. Doesn't make any sense to me. Right. I was busy doing other things when that happened. I was busy fighting against, for free speech and doing all the other stuff, traveling around with General Flynn and raising my voice for things. Been deeply involved in rescuing kids in the sex trade, like all that kind of stuff. But when I heard that, it triggered something in me that pissed me off, that should piss you off if you're a small to mid-sized company owner. And it was a group of people that really had never owned a business, called our government, that looked around and said 60% of the GDP is non-essential. That pisses me off, right? Because I fight bullies that's what I do. My entire life is set up around, from the day that I got out of that my adopted father went to prison for attempted murder of me and my mom. I've been fighting bullies ever since, because that's what he lit in me, was to fight back against people like him. And so as I sat around and I listened to that, I was busy doing other things, but I thought, man, somebody's going to stand up, right? Somebody's going to come together. Somebody's going to we're 60% of the GDP, 60% of the hiring, right? The wealthiest people in this country, they're not going to just sit back and allow themselves to be called non-essential. And guess what? We did. All of us, we sat back and we allowed it to happen. And guess who got the lion's share of the attention? You know who wasn't non-essential? Walmart, Amazon, companies that had lobbyists that stood up for them and represented them and bribed our government and let them know that if you do this, then if you buy stock in our company and you shut down our competition in the small to mid-sized company arena, our stock is going to go through the roof, because we're going to be the only place that you can get goods and services. That sucks. And it pissed me off. And then, back here in October of 2023, and I started to formulate the idea. My wife and I were talking about it and how this is wrong. Nobody stood up. There was no organization that stood up and said, whoa, 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 whoa. We're going to negotiate on behalf of 33 million entities that are feeding their family, keeping themselves economically stable, not with the help of government programs, not with the help of anybody else, but on their own merits. Literally, the American dream. Literally, 33 million people that stood up and said, I will do this on my own by challenging myself to become better at playing this game called business. I will fall in love with the outcome of someone other than me, called my clients. I will fall in love with the outcome of somebody other than me, called my employees. I will constantly and consistently work on my business to be able to improve my machine so that it can produce better for me and my family, to not be dependent on anybody else. Some of the greatest Americans, the greatest representatives of what this freedom stands for is in the small business community. And nobody stood up. Nobody stood up. And so I started to think about it. Why? Where is everybody? Why are we not bonded together stronger? Why do we not do more business with each other? Right? Why? And I'm going to get to a conclusion at the end of this of what I think a great solution is for us to be able to work together. But I was like, why? Why are we not? And because there was no formation of a community bonded together for the purpose of protecting not only our own entities, but the group, the community of business owners, of people who are just like us. And in this business community, it doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter all of the things that I said previously in this podcast. It doesn't matter, because what bonds us together is this rebellious nature to be able to play a game that we know damn good and well 95% of people fail at and only 5% succeed at, but to play it because we would rather die on our feet than live on our knees. That's what bonds us together. The rebels, a belligerent refusal to be controlled. That's what bonds us together. But this community needs to be built. Right? That's the point of this podcast. It's the point of why Built to Exit. It's the point of why I'm still in this game, because I believe we have a bigger game to play. Right? There's a journey for you to go on, no matter who's listening to the sound of my voice. If you are sub $100,000 in earning, then you can listen to stuff that we have put together. We're creating stuff just for you to go from 100 to 300, 300 to 750. Then for you to enter into the business world with one of the greatest systems that's ever been created in business, called the Built to Exit system. Right now, it's known as the Growth Course. A lot of you have been through it. A lot of you are students, are either in it or you've graduated from it. And then moving yourself up the ladder of exit to a place where we all want to get, which is the Freedom Club, right? The entire intent of the Chairman Project podcast was for people to understand that you were developing yourself into a chairman, chairwoman, chairperson, right? And then we can develop a group of companies that are all BTE verified. Like, we all know each other. We know the heart. We know the systems. We know that we can count on each other. And then that will create a marketplace for us to be able to gather together in, right? We'll be able to invest in each other. We'll be able to do business with each other. And then that can eventually grow into something that will be something similar to a union, right? Something similar to a union where we can all gather together and use our force, use our power, use our gathering, use our voices to be able to have a voice, to be able to maintain the freedom, this economic freedom opportunity for us to do business, right? That's the idea. So I started to look through the history, and I looked through these groups, right? These secret societies. Then I started to look at, when throughout history, because I love history, when throughout history have societies come together, and when have they not come together, and what were the results of that? And so there's just some stories throughout history, right? There's the East St. Louis massacre, which was a terrible racial event where the African-American community had to come together to protect themselves, right? You got the Knoxville race riots. You got the New York City draft riots. That was a historical instance that reflected a darker side of community action where Irish immigrants, fearing economic and social displacement, banded together to protest the Civil War draft, although the motivations were rooted in self-preservation, right? So you have these communities that banded together that, because their very survival, their very existence required them to come together as a community. I believe that that's where we are in the small to mid-sized company business community right now. I think we have to band together. And there's a sequence to this. I know that this is a little bit umbrella-ish. It's a little bit bigger thought process that we talk about day to day for you to specifically work on your business. But I believe that we can handle big ideas. I believe that we can handle big conversations. I believe that we know that we can identify ourselves in the annals of history of where we may find ourselves. Because if we lose our economic freedom, we lose our freedom, period. Right? And then we look at throughout history, what were some of the communities that didn't come together? The Roman Empire. Right? One of the things you're seeing a lot of memes going around that of how many times men think about the Roman Empire throughout the day. But the Roman Empire's decline, poor leadership, Abandonment of foundational societal principles led to a breakdown in trust and cooperation, contributing to the empire's collapse. Leaders who pursued personal power over public good destabilized the society from within. Then if you get into the animal kingdom, the chimpanzee societies. These are fascinating things to research, by the way. The Gombe chimpanzee community suffered because they lacked mechanisms to effectively manage and punish antisocial behavior among their members, particularly highlighted in the actions of certain individuals who disrupted the group's harmony. Right? There's so many historical examples of empire collapses. So many historical empires have fallen due to leaders who became increasingly selfish and corrupt, leading to internal strife and eventual downfall. This pattern shows how leadership focused on personal gain can undermine community cohesion, right? Then if you get into business, successful business communities, let's look at them. Silicon Valley. You want to talk about a community that protects itself, that teaches itself, that they learn from each other? It's known for its culture of innovation and collaboration. The Tech Hub has thrived by fostering a network where businesses and entrepreneurs share ideas, resources, and innovations, leading to exponential growth and success across the sector. Wall Street, right? Despite its ups and downs, the financial industry on Wall Street represents a powerful example of a business community that prospers through tight networking and information sharing amongst firms and professionals. The automotive industry in Detroit. Detroit's rise as an automotive capital showcased how businesses could drive industrial growth and urban development by creating ecosystems of supplies, manufacturers, and supportive industries. Okay, let's look at some of them that have failed. Right, the entire U.S. steel industry in the late 20th century. The decline of the U.S. steel industry can be partly attributed to its failure to adapt to new technologies and market changes, compounded by a lack of cooperation and innovation within the industry, leading to its downfall against international competition. Kodak, I talk about Kodak almost every single week, okay? So I'm not going to go here, but we understand. Sears. Once a retail giant, Sears struggled due to its inability to adapt to the digital era and the rising dominance of competitors like Amazon. Company failed to develop a cohesive strategy that unified its online and in-store presence, leading to its gradual decline and eventual bankruptcy. Toys R Us, the iconic toy retailer, failed largely due to an inability to effectively respond to market changes, including the rise of e-commerce. The company struggled to innovate and adapt its business model in a way that fostered collaboration with new and emerging platforms, ultimately leading to its liquidation. Over and over, and I could just keep going. And so here, our community, right? It's a bigger concept. It's the idea of why. Why does the small business community? Why do we not collaborate? And here's why. Let me tell you why. Because we're busy. Right? We're busy. We've got families. We've got bills. We've got all of these circumstances that we have coming against us. And by the way, no cohesive group has formed for us to be able to join. Yeah, we've got our chambers of commerce. Yes, we have, we've got different entities that are out there. You've got networking entities, right? You've got these different things. But as a community, as a whole, this is what we have formed. Those of you that are here with me live, those of you listening to me on replay, we have actually formed a community of people that are like-minded, like-hearted for the purpose of developing our own business, but also having the intellect to be able to rise above our individual circumstance to know that we belong to something bigger, that we are maintaining something that was handed to us that we did not create, called the free marketplace, and for us to be able to partake in it for ourselves, but for us to be able to participate in it and to be able to improve it over time. That's what the Built to Exit community has done. That's who we are. Are you a business owner that's looking to build your company into a machine that creates cash? I'm Jason Sisneros, chairman and founder of Anton J Global, a world-class business consulting company that has turned around, merged, or prepped for sale hundreds of companies just like yours. I'm best known as the architect when it comes to fixing and building companies across the globe. My experience comes from owning and exiting over 20 of my own companies successfully. It's that real-world experience that I've converted into the ultimate blueprint that has saved and grown my clients' businesses. If you're tired of getting bad advice, have bought all the books, all the coaching programs, and still aren't seeing the success that you were promised, it might be time to work with a team that has actual experience and a track record of success. Please scan the QR code or visit antonj.com to schedule your free 15-minute consultation to see if we can help you reach your outcomes. That's antonj.com, ANTONJAE.com. We do things to, obviously, we have to build independent wealth. We have to build independent strength for us to stand on. If we're doing less than 100,000, we've got to get to 300,000. If we're doing 300,000, we've got to get to 750. From 750, we got to go to 1.5 million, for on and on and on up. Because every single time we do that, it's not about the car, it's not about the house, it's not about the vacations, it's not about the step up of society seeing you as a higher level. It is building wealth. It's building strength. It's building choices for you and your family. That is you should understand that you are honor bound for you to be able to do the best that you possibly can in this life. It's not about the money. It's about the money as a tool. It's about the development of yourself as a human being. It's about developing the tools and the skill sets that allow you to be a better leader, which is all rooted in humility and service. The more that you seek to serve other people, the greater that your skill sets that you will learn to be of service to the world. And yes, there is profit in that. Yes, there is monetary gain in that. But that is the right behavior to drive your own freedom. So in other words, the better that you serve other people, the greater your freedom will be. And for us to do this, for us to hang out with each other, for us to have these real conversations week after week, it's not sexy, it's not easy, it's not brand new, something that is on the thing. It's us coming together, having real conversations and speaking truth to one another for the purpose of advancing myself, yourself, our community as a whole. Because we know the tragedy that can happen over time if you don't belong to a community. And I'm speaking to small and mid-sized business owners because I am you. I was you. I am you. I know that there's a lot of things going on in your life. I understand that, but a small amount of time for you to participate in a community for what I want to wrap this up as far as what can we do, right? How can we come together? Obviously, this podcast is one place for us to come together. We're going to start rolling out over the course of the next 5 to 6 weeks, ways that we can come together in an even stronger manner. But I say it week after week. Right? Let me go through some of the things that I wanted to talk about, right? As the BTE community has developed, is developing, and will develop, into the future. Some things that are common amongst us. Economic freedom for you, the listener, the person who's watching this. Economic freedom, that's the exit. That is the objective for all of us. And if you don't know that, now you do. That's the reason for building a business, is for you to gain that economic freedom. That is where your strength to have an impact, to do the things that you want to do, to experience this thing called life, to be able to help other people, all of the things that you have as a heartfelt desire for your church, for your community, for your kids, for anything that you care about. One of the greatest tools that you can have is money. And one of the greatest tools for you to be able to create that cash, that excess capital, is a business. And so that's one of the things. It's in the title, Built to Exit. Economic freedom is the objective of the thing that you're doing day to day. And so that should set off a bunch of dominoes that change how you utilize that money. Stop spending spending it on shit you don't need. Started investing in things that can accelerate your freedom. because that's the objective. That's the flex, right? The flex these days is for you to be able to have your time be your own because you were disciplined and you executed and you learned and you invested and you overcame those weaknesses in the mirror and you built on the strengths in the mirror. Because you know that you're building for freedom. You know that you're building for exit. And that lines up those dominoes for that to be able to happen. You stop seeking the attention on social media for people to want to know you more or to whatever because of what you drive or what you live in. The right people find out who you are because you have the flex of complete time control. Total time control and enough money to eliminate. This is number 2. Number 1 is economic freedom is the objective. Number 2 is total time control and enough money to eliminate money as a concern. I'm going to say that one more time, right? Total time control and enough money to eliminate money as a concern. Number 3, so this all happens so that you can spend time on your purpose. One of the things that I know, I used to wonder, but now I know. Everybody listening to the sound of my voice, you have something that God put on your spirit that only you can accomplish once you have total time control and the revenue and resources to be able to finance it and to be able to support it. There is magic in the people that I know that listen to this show. There is magic in the people that I get to hug when I go speak live on stages. There is magic inside of you that you know that you can ease suffering in this world, that you can do great things, that you can free your family, that you can set a new standard, that you can set a new legacy for your last name and your family by simply dialing in and figuring out what the system is to be able to create a great business. Everybody at home should be screaming at the top of their lungs, I need a system. I need a system, right? So you can spend time on your place. Now, number 4, and probably the most important, then I'll wrap up with a final thought. But number 4 is know your place. I'm going to say it again. Number 4 is know your place. What do I mean by that? Know your place in history. Know your place as a business owner. Know your place of having a weapon or a tool or this awesome, amazing situation that you find yourself with the ability and the freedom and the resources to be able to be a business owner. Know your place in history. So many people in this industry, so many people that own businesses take for granted the very thing that you get to wake up to every single day, which is a choice of self-determination. It's an eye blink in history. It's an eye blink in history for us to be in a position where we own self-determination from top to bottom. What we say, where we go, how much money we can make, where we can live, all of these things. Self-determination is an eye blink in history that you happen to have your hands on, called a small or mid-sized company. And so many of us have lost our place. So many of us have lost the idea and the knowledge that we live in a day and age where we can control totally the outcome. Now, there's pressures against it. There always will be. There always has been. There's pressures against it. But if we band together as that 33 million group of people here in the United States and then worldwide, that I'm starting to gain brothers and sisters following this show from around the world, to know and understand that that is a weapon of self-determination. It is a weapon of freedom. It doesn't cause bloodshed. It causes a little bit of pain because we have to change who we are. We have to change our behavior. We have to change our beliefs. We have to change things about us as an individual. And that's why most people fail. Because they want the world to adapt to them rather than us adapting to the world and increasing our skill sets. And falling in love with the humility that it takes to fall in love with somebody else's outcome is a key indicator of being a 5%er. And why so few people reach that point. Because they roll around in selfishness. They roll around in this bullshit idea that social media has created that you have to have a Lamborghini, that you have to show all your stuff, and that that's your only value in this world. No, it's not. Being humble and serving other people and creating a better mousetrap for people to ease their suffering, to help make them more money, to help them save more money, to help them increase the quality of their life measurably. Built to Exit exists for two groups of people in this world. We exist for two people, for two groups. Those that improve, that are consultants and business coaches, and business owners. That's why we exist. Every single day, you know it by the sound of my voice. You know it by the tone and tenor of my content. You know the information. You know I'm fighting for you. Or else you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be sharing this. You wouldn't be attending these meetings. You know that I'm here for you. And each and every week, I do my best to fall in love with your outcome and to come up with solutions and conversations that matter, that shift your perspective and your beliefs, that then drive your behaviors, that then change your results. And I know by private messages and by the invites that I get, I know that that's happening. Some of you are going from $30,000 to $60,000, and that's monumental for you. Some of you have gone from $300,000 to $750,000, and that's monumental for you. Some of you have gone from $2.5 million to $5 million. Some of you have gone from 10 to 20. Some of you have gone from 20 to 50 million. And all of this is monumental for you. But you got to understand number 4, which is know your place. Know that you are not just a selfish recipient to be able to sit back and hopefully everything comes to you. You have to forge, F-O-R-G-E. You have to forge your own freedom. You have an environment and an eye-blinking history where you have the ability to do that no matter what your background, no matter where you came from, no matter what your last name is, no matter what your skin color is, no matter what your gender is, no matter anything about you. You have an eye-blinking history. What are you doing with it? That's part A of knowing your place. Part A is forge your freedom. That is an active response. You're acting against it every single day. Part B of that would be protect the damn institution, right? Protect the institution that you belong to by being a success. Protect the institution by doing business with your brothers and sisters who own businesses just like you. Stop giving your money to Amazon. Stop giving your money to these companies. You know, we think we're putting ourselves in a place to we're going to have price advantage because I'm going to get something cheap off of Amazon. Guess what? The person that you would have done business with that maybe have 10% more, 20% more, whatever it is, that person that you give your business to could turn around and do business with you, but they can't when they're out of business. They can't do it when they're out of business. Amazon's not going to do business with you. You're not going to be able to knock on their door and sell your product or service to an Amazon, to a Microsoft. You're not going to be able to do that. You can with your neighbor. You can with somebody online from across the country that wants to do business with you because you're meeting their needs, because you've created a superior product or service, and you've committed to their outcome more than a faceless multinational corporation. Knowing your place means you forge your freedom, that you protect the very institution and you don't just take from it. Part C of that would be our responsibility in the business community is to pass on the business community and opportunity better than we found it to the next generation. That's our responsibility because that's what a community does. That's what a society does. And maybe we form our own BTE secret society of business coaches, consultants, and business owners. And we have a secret handshake or something that develops along the way. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I do know that understanding this idea of community and networking and doing business with each other is crucial. And my final thought on this concept is that I wake up every day with an overwhelming sense of gratitude and responsibility. Gratitude that a kid like me didn't graduate from high school, that was raised in a crazy family, that through circumstances, all those kind of things. I feel so grateful and so humbled to be able to have had something handed to me by men and women that were greater than me, that came before me, to be able to say, Jason, here it is. It's better than I found it, and you can do with it what you will. And I find myself carrying a weight of responsibility each and every day that gets heavier and heavier, that I carry with joy, that I carry with expectation, that I carry on my shoulders gladly, for us to come together in this day and age to support each other, and for us to come together in this day and age to improve the environment for those that will come after us. To be able to have such in history, very, very seldom will you live through a time that we live in now of such upheaval and uncertainty. For us to be able to emerge as the leaders in the business community that can solve these problems by doing business with each other. That we don't have to solve them with bullets and anger and frustration and attacks and all of the other stuff that we see happening around us. We can simply do business with each other, pull the money away from these unethical assholes around the world that don't have anybody's best interest in mind but their own. That's where we are historically. That's who we are historically. And that's what I want to leave historically for to come after us. And I say this with all humility and passion and love to everybody that's watching this show, to whoever you may share it with, to those of you that are listening live right now. Thank you. And get off your ass and do better over the next 7 days until we meet again. I love you all very much. That's the end of the episode. We're going to dive to the live section. Again, please join us live. We have amazing conversations. We have insights. We have different people that come in and speak. Please join us live, 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. every single Saturday on Twitter, x.com, at the J Sisneros. Make sure that if this is your first time in the community, go to built2exit.biz. Put in your email address. You'll stay connected that way. You'll get the show notes. And those of you that still want to check out Growth Course, it's growthcourse.com for the next couple of weeks. But thank you all very much for being part of my life. Thank you for holding me to a higher standard. Thank you for holding yourself to a higher standard. And thank you for your own progress that you're making week to week. I love your messages. I love hearing from you. I love seeing your success. I'm Jason Sisneros. Until next week, peace.